Maddie Heaney was born in a boy's body, with a boy's name. But Maddie knew long before she started school that she was really a girl. She wore girls' clothes and was, in her mind, a princess.
There wasn't a doubt about it. And then as I got older, went into preschool, kindergarten, I noticed people didn't think of me as a girl, and I would get weird looks when I would play dress up or do things that were normal to me.
Maddie's sense of self began wavering by third grade. That's when the boys kept quizzing the classmate who looked like them but acted differently.
Why are you playing with the girls? Why are you playing with stuffed animals and Barbies? Why don't you play sports with us and everything? And that's when I sort of felt very uncomfortable and became really depressed, and I sort of tried to make myself more masculine than I was and tried being the complete opposite person that I was to please everyone around me. It was probably the lowest point of my life. It was awful.
But with the blessings of her family, in 5th grade, Maddie formally began her transition to a girl. In June, she will graduate from Cab Calloway School of the Arts in Wilmington, where she majors in drama, and classmates and staff alike embrace her. While Maddie is now making plans to transition to college, a debate is raging in Delaware educational circles about how other transgender students are treated in public schools. The controversy revolves around the draft policy of a statewide anti-discrimination regulation sought by Governor John Carney. It generated 11,000 written comments, most in opposition. The key point of contention is a provision that allows schools to not notify parents if a transgender student wants to use a different name than at home. To do so, schools would first be required to take into consideration the safety, health, and well-being of the student.
If this were to be implemented in our schools, we would allow students with no age stipulation, so as young as 4 and 5 years old, to really explore the idea of being an opposite gender or not. And if a parent is deemed unsupportive of that, very easily the school system could decide to get around the parent and begin to interact with that child very differently than their biological reality.
Nicole Tice heads the Delaware Family Policy Council, which led opposition to the policy. Tice and allies say the proposal would illegally elevate the rights of minor children over those of adult parents. They vow to sue the state and any districts that adopt such a policy.
Whatever it takes to really preserve parental authority, we'll be all in.
The umbrella groups for state school boards and superintendents also have concerns. Another vehement foe is state lawmaker Rich Collins, a Republican from Sussex County.
I do not believe that our schools should be in the business of getting into our little children's minds all the way down to age 5 and convincing them that they should live in a way that maybe their parents would not agree with. We're talking about a major change in how our schools would operate. One of the largest policy changes maybe in the history of this state.
Hyperbole aside, Collins rightly describes the polarizing nature of the draft regulation. There's also widespread controversy over the section that says schools will provide access to locker rooms and bathrooms that correspond to students' gender identity or expression. Opposing views were on raw display during a boisterous meeting in February of the team Carney appointed to develop the policy.
You have not the power to dictate what amounts to the emancipation of our children without the consent of their parents, and also without the legal or constitutional authority to do so.
A 12-year-old trans girl does not put the community at risk by using the ladies' room.
The parents who are probably having the biggest problem with this are more than likely the parents who would not accept these children. Most of the children who are homeless.
Wilmington lawyer Mark Papora, a development team member, stresses that many states have enacted similar provisions with little fanfare. He said the provision allowing schools to bypass parents came after much debate. It would only be used on rare occasions, if at all.
There were people who were very concerned about the safety of some students, in particular transgender students, whose parents may not support them, may not agree that they're transgender. And so we thought that that was potentially harmful to students, that it would jeopardize their safety and well-being if the parent was notified before the child was ready to tell the parent about their gender identity. It's very important to LGBT people to have control over who they come out to and when they come out to them. Because frankly, your world can change in a second.
Maddie's stepmother, Andrea Rashbaum, is also on the policy development team. She's not surprised by the backlash. She experienced it firsthand.
We lost friends. We didn't talk to family for a while. And people would say to us, like, well, for our event, could he come as a boy? Because, he's a boy. And I would say, no, she's a girl, and she's going to come as a girl.
But Maddie persevered, and with the help of counseling and medical treatments, is thriving as a girl. At Cab Calloway, she's treated like any other student. She uses the girls' bathrooms and locker rooms without any drama.
It's like essential that I have the safety, and every trans kid has the safety to be themselves, use the bathroom that they want, use the pronouns that they want, be called the name they want. Yeah, it's just a human right. In situations where parents might not be accepting, school might be a safe haven for them. It might be a place where they don't feel as judged.
Carney has stated his commitment to schools that are, quote, welcoming, inclusive places where students and staff members alike can flourish. But because there is so much opposition, Rashbaum wonders whether he and top education officials will ultimately adopt the draft policy.
I have concerns that they're going to just let it float away in the wind.